Okay, hello everyone. We are back for another Workshop Wednesday where today we're going to be playing around with LED lights. So this is just a strip of LEDs you get from more or less anywhere. And I forget how they plug in. Is it that way? They don't actually say one way or the other. So we'll try it. Well, apparently not. Maybe it is. Okay, there we are. So they'll give you some cool lights there, and you can change the intensity and play around with my thing. There we go. And so you can play around with that. Like I said, change intensity. That's actually not. There we go. It's pretty bright, and you can also change the color. Blue, red. Ooh, very blue. Green, purple, and let's see here, there's a nice white. So I'm going to use these in a cabinet that I have actually all my D&D minis in, so I want some nice lighting in that cabinet, and I want to put these underneath the tops of the cabinets. Basically, imagine it's like a bookshelf, like a bookcase, and so I want to put these LEDs on the bottom of a shelf, so they're shining down on the shelf below it. Here are the dimensions I've got of that bookshelf in metric, because metric just kind of makes sense. So we've got 72 centimeters across, 26 centimeters high for the bottom shelf, 32 centimeters for the top shelf, and then with a 2 centimeter gap for the shelf itself is 2 centimeters high, and then they're 30 centimeters deep. So I think I'm going to have basically one strip a little deep into the shelf, and another strip mounted even further back. So if I can get a total of basically 120 centimeters out of this strip, then I'm good to go. So let's turn that off, unplug it. And the thing is, I'm going to have to probably extend this. I'm going to have to cut it into different areas and then add a couple of lines of wire between each segment. That's kind of the twist here. Is it's not just running this; it's cutting it and then adding stuff to it. So I'm just going to do this and see how much we've got. It actually has tape on the back, so I can hopefully tape it up upside down. But so I said we needed 120 centimeters. I think I'm going to definitely have that, but we'll see here. So this is 30. 60. Wow. So yeah, I'm gonna have plenty. Maybe I'll do a total of 3. So actually no, I'm wrong. 30 centimeters deep. I need 72 times 4. That's 286. So basically 300 centimeters of this stuff. Wow. All right. That seems like a lot. So that's 100 centimeters there. Nope. That's another, almost exactly, I think another 90. 70, 80, 90. All right, so I've got like 190 centimeters here. So I can do, this is correct, right? So I've got enough to run across, there's 72, so I can do 1, and then another run, basically, and that's about all I'll have. Okay, fair enough. So we'll have 1 back there. It'll probably be like 68 centimeters, because you need some space for the wires and such. So let's see how that works. So we're going to cut this and then add some wires to it. So the important thing about LEDs, as I've been reading up on them, is that you've got the LED here. That's the light itself. Actually, I think those are the LED. That's the LED. Then you have these areas here. Oops. And that's where you cut. This spot here, where you see there's kind of a line. See if that'll focus. There we go. So you want to cut on that white, on that white line there, not on the LED, not on any of the other circuitry. So, and then you can just essentially run wires between them, apparently. We're going to see how that goes. I just don't know. So like I said, it's a total of 72 centimeters all the way across, but I need some workspace. So I'll probably do 68 centimeters. And that will give me some space to maneuver. So there's 68 centimeters right there, which is not kind of convenient. Because there's 70. I could go 69 and go to that right there. So if I go, that's 69. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. All right, so we're just gonna try this. Let me grab, where are my scissors? All right. So I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just cutting this. Okay, we just cut. Now we can check something. Hopefully. Yep, all right. So these lights still work. That's good. And so hopefully, if I run wires, so there's the metal right there. Yeah, so hopefully I can solder leads running from there to there, connecting those two metal pieces, and that will give me what I need. So if those are there, then I need to run up. So if that's on here, so imagine, if you will, the first strip will run, say, along here. I'm going to have to run wires up here so that the next strip can run up to the top. So I need to go 34 centimeters at least of wire. Fortunately, I got wire. Now, you can buy strips of wire that like plug in on either side and it'll give you what you need, but I'm just going to wing it, as I want to do. That's another set of LED lights. Kind of funny. That's different though. All right. Let me just grab. I don't need anything particularly crazy here. I have a nice long thing of black wire. I think black makes sense. So, like I said, I need at least 34 centimeters. So let's go with 40. You can always push some of this stuff out of the way. I only just strip it down a little bit too. So there's 40 centimeters. So, where's my wire? Oh, there they are. Okay. So there's my wire cutter. Cut that. All right. So hopefully we can get a total of 160 centimeters out of this. 40 goes to here. I am not good at soldering, so that's going to be an adventure. Oop. Yep. But we'll see what happens. That is just kind of the nature of Workshop Wednesday, is you try stuff and see what happens. All right, so there's 40. One more of these, and then we can strip them. Woo. I should have this. Yeah. Ah. So it's bouncing all over the place. All right, and there's 40. Good. Plenty of cable. Plenty of wire. All right. Put the wire away. Here we go. And then we're going to basically solder that onto there. Okay. So what have I got? I had a soldering iron right here. Look at that. And do I have a... one second while I dig in here. I think I have a little stand for it. Somewhere out there, if love can see us through. I don't see it. Okay. So I'll just have to be careful. And I need some solder as well. Let me grab some. There's some solder. Looks reasonable. then we'll have to like tape that down with electrical tape or something. Okay, so let me plug in the soldering iron. Alright. And I think, yeah, it's just on off. And we'll grab some solder, get that out here ready to go. Meanwhile, we'll go ahead and strip the ends off of the wire so we can solder those. Again, soldering is one of those things that I'm not skilled at, but I no longer fear. So we're just gonna give it a go and see what happens. Oops. What the? Nah. If there's little bits trapped in here, it will tend to prevent the wire strippers from actually doing their thing. Okay, so there's that. And then there's that. All right. So if you're just tuning in, this is all about trying to extend this LED strip. All right, so we have our 4 wires. So here's the one with the plug. So we know we need that. We'd have wires on that. So let's move this out of the way. Here are our 4 wires, and we can kind of start to get this stuff situated. I want to make sure that's flopping down appropriately. So ideally this would be, okay, good. So basically, I'm just going to be laying down some solder there to connect that there. In fact, let's see if we can't zoom this in a bit so you can see what I'm doing. That's about as zoomed in as it'll go. That's pretty good. Unfortunately, soldering is a delicate, difficult job. Not difficult, but one of those things where it's like, I always feel like I need 3 hands to solder with. Now, are we hot enough to get some solder going here? Yes, we are. All right, so we got some solder. I'm going to lay that down. I'm going to try to lay that down. Don't have enough solder. Let's get some more solder. And then lay that down here on that contact. Just enough to get it to where it's going to stick. Ooh. Okay. We have soldered joint number 1. I'm going to try not to bounce that around too much. All right. Now, this is going to be difficult. I may not be able to manage this, but, ooh. See, one of the problems here is we have rubber on the other side, and solder, oddly enough, does not want to adhere to rubber. All right, but is that shorting it out? Is my fear. Whoa. Shoot. I can melt that down and. Yeah, that's shorting it out. Shoot. Does that do it? That might do it. Nah, it shorted out. Dang it. Alright, can I just, yeah, I can just pop that right off. Alright, let me disconnect that. Okay, so this might not work. My hope was that I could solder these down, but because of the rubber, the solder just doesn't stick to anything. So I think with other, let me see, I have another LED strip I bought a while back, and this looks like it might, it's not the same. Yeah, it might be a little easier. So it could be that this is just not a good strip to do that with. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to try again. I'm going to take this one. I'm going to get a bit more solder. I'm going to lay it down. And I'm going to put some solder on it. And just try to get that to stick. Ow. It's quite hot. oddly enough. Okay. That's okay. That worked. Now the question is whether I can do it again on this one. It seems unlikely. It's just very hard to get it attached. Maybe I can do it though. Isn't that cool? But is that on the other connector? Might be. Alright, let's try this one. Lay it down. Yeah, I just don't see how I'm going to be able to connect that in a way that doesn't then get it fused with the one next to it. And now I have Somewhere Out There running through my head, which is not the worst song to ever have running through your head, but it's definitely there. Alright, have I got that? No. Yeah, I'm just spreading solder onto rubber, which doesn't really do anything. It smells terrible too. Yeah, no. There's no way to connect it. Alright. Alright, so I've learned that. Unplug the soldering iron. Okay, so this was an interesting experiment. Oops. Zoom in a little bit more, maybe. So we now know that this particular kind of LED strip does not take to soldering very well. And I'm wondering if there's something I could do to fix that, to mitigate that. Could I make something that I could fit over there, some kind of connector? I don't know. There's maybe a situation, I think it is, where I'm just going to have to buy one of those physical connectors and connect them up and do it that way, which is kind of disappointing, but that is the nature of it. So what I am going to do, though, before I go any further, it should still be hot enough to disengage that solder. And then let me look at this. Yeah, that's pretty messed up. So I might be able to scrape off some of that. Kind of. No, I think we've screwed up that end. But that's not a big deal. Basically, I can just cut off that LED and then connect up, from there. So again, whoops. That was dangerous. Move this one onto the soldering iron. Let me move the soldering iron over here, so I'm much less likely to cause any more damage. I think I'm okay there. Yeah, that's just okay. We're fine. So like I said, even though I've screwed up that connector, I can just cut back further and go from there. And I'll have a little less light, but that's okay. All right, so we've learned that. So I think that's going to have to do it for us for tonight, unfortunately. That's a short project, but that kind of is what it's going to be. We tried, and it didn't work out, and so we're going to move forward. I'm going to buy some of those connectors and plug those together, and we'll connect that up next time. We'll see how that works. So that's going to have to do it for tonight. It's, the nature of experimentation. I'll be back. Should be back next week. I think I'll be painting minis next week. Some D&D minis will be on the table with some acrylic paint. So hope to see you guys then. And until next time, hope you make something interesting.